Welcome to an extraordinary weekend of elite equestrian sport here on GCTV. We are getting set for the second round of the GCL, the Global Champions League here in London. But as it stands coming into this ninth leg of the season, it is Valkenswaard United with those 3 wins so far that top the board ahead of the Cannes Stars, the 2024 Series champions and winners in Doha. Mexico, Shanghai winners, Shanghai Swans sitting there in third. There is a lot of twists and turns that will yet come our way. That is absolutely for sure. But that is the results after the opening round. Shanghai Swans, New York Empire, Cannes Stars separated by the clock only. They're level on points, or I should say penalties. And then you move into the teams on 8. This track is the challenge that sits ahead of them in the second round of this Global Champions League here in London. Now this team that go first start the day on 179 points and they lead the Global Champions League after 8 rounds of the season. They start the second round in London in last place. He's of course been such a long-standing part of Valkenswaard United. He knows how important this round is. That first round was the anomaly, and some days in sport you show your class not when things are going well, but when things are getting difficult. Well, now with Callista TN, can he follow up Gilles Thomas? What went wrong in round 1 is put right in round 2 as best it can be. The team that lead the overall standings doing what they can to pick up the pieces in round 2 with a quite brilliant duo of rounds from 2 beautiful partnerships. Now we turn to the first of the 6 teams that start this second round on a total of 12, so they all have that one fence in hand. If they can be clear, they will stay ahead of Valkenswaard United. The Basel Cosmopolitans team is the first of that lineup. Sasha Nigalil and Jana Vargas. Sasha going again then with Torino PS. Ooh, got away with a little tap. Well, clear rounds have been lacking so far today, but they now seem to be coming round after round, because there's one for the Basel Cosmopolitans. And from 4 in the opening round to come back with that beautiful clear round in the second round is a tremendous story for those two. Jana, though, has changed horses. She's got Durette with her as well. She jumped a 9-year-old for 8 in round 1. Jana Vargas now with a much more experienced mare, Durette OLD. Now the heights have gone up and the pressure has got higher. Well, having had no team on 0 at the end of the opening round, the opening 2 teams have both achieved that in this second round. And what a great news story for the Basel Cosmopolitans team, because it guarantees they'll finish ahead of Valkenswaard United. They finish on a score of 12. And, well, talk about apply the pressure to the others on 12, which means Rome, Madrid, Stockholm, Prague and Mexico have got a lot to think about now, because not only have they got to leave the fences up, they're going to have to go clear and quicker. Now to the final team on a score of 12, the last of this run of 6 teams that started 2 fences off the lead, 2 of which have managed to stick with what they started on. It's the Mexico Amigos. Petronella Anderson replacing Kendra Clisser-Brinkhoff. It's a big move to try and power the team up the table in this second half of the year. They're sitting just outside the top 10 and 11th as they start out in the second half of the season. It's been a strong debut. They'll be delighted with the way that transfer's worked its way out so far, Petronella Anderson, and that's a pretty decent time. 74.05 was quick as the likes of Gilles Tomat. The change in round 2 comes with the turn of Emily Conter with Portobello Venturut to go. Now she's just got one to go. It's not quite fast enough to overtake Basel, but can they stay there in second for the moment? They've done it. They're ahead of Madrid. The Mexican Amigos by H5 Stables putting together a strong team performance as Emily delivering the all-important clear at the end to back up the round we just seen from Petronella Anderson, delivering the double clear in this second round. Knocking on the door of a podium position. Could that dream come true today? We will see. These three teams start out level on scores of 4, so they've got the 2 fences in hand over Basel in that respect. There's a battle for the top step of the podium. Gonna get very tight, and we will know one of the podium positions in a moment, because this is the Cannes Stars powered by Iron Dames, the team that sit second on the overall standings. Some say it's an advantage when you're the final team to go, because of course you know what you need to do. But there is another position that gives you an advantage, and it's the first of those teams gunning for the win to go, because you can put the pressure on those that are still to follow you. Now it's Catherine's turn. No stranger to the big pressure situations. Catherine Eckermann changes over to Iron Dames, Dalou, Blue PS after the 4 on Cidello, and already 4. So they still have the lead by a clear fence, but not anymore. Now the clock comes down to the race with Basel. If another fence falls, Basel Cosmopolitans have gone from 16th to the podium. She's got to be careful to leave the fences standing to even ensure that it's a result somewhere in the top 6. And she's got over the last. Where does that clock stop? They go into 3rd behind the Mexico Amigos, who now still sit 2nd, powered by H5 horses. But the Basel Cosmopolitans are guaranteed a podium finish. 2 teams left to go, and now it's the New York Empire, powered by Lugano Diamonds, that I can almost guarantee have the hometown support, because with the 2 British riders of Robert Murphy and Scott Brash sitting in 2nd place on that 4 penalty score, still got 1 fence in hand. If he can jump this, Scott can guarantee them a top 2 finish, perhaps in London. Robert Murphy giving up half of the advantage, and a time of 81.19. We'll go as far as to say, and I know Scott will be quick, but I'm not sure even Scott would overcome the problems they'll run into with the clock if he has a fence down on Hello Shadora Lady. So it is really going to come down to the time. You'll need to just make sure that they keep enough of a pace to put the Shanghai Swans under pressure, but the pole has gone. Well, what does that mean in terms of this competition and result? Because the New York Empire now have to look to the clock. 1:45.45. They're not going to beat Basel, who have gone from 16th to 2nd in the space of a round. New York need, they're not even going to make the podium. Oh no, they couldn't come back with a clock at 154.88. Means that they drop into 6th place What a shame for Scott Brash and, of course, for Robert Murphy. What another twist in the tail. Well, there is one team that can stop them. They lead the way coming in to this second round of jumping in the Global Champions League. The final combinations. The last team is the Shanghai Swans. They've got that 2 fence advantage. They can have 1 down and they don't even have to consider the clock. He's getting ever closer. Daniel with 1 fence left to go. He delivered the clear for the Shanghai Swans in round 1. And he starts off by delivering the clear. And they're halfway there. They started this round in the lead. They're determined to try and finish it in the lead and on the top step of the podium if they can. And Daniel Deusser, Otello go clear. I think good time, to be fair, 73.85, even if they start running into problems with fences. That's the sort of time you need to be competitive. Home rider as the last to go. Daniel can do no more. So the win is in the hands of Ben Mayer and Point Break. Oh, well, there's half the advantage gone, and they've given up some time. He's got to jump these last 2 fences and leave them standing. 1 more fence to go. If he jumps it clear, it's a win for Shanghai. If he doesn't, it would be different. But it is indeed the Shanghai Swans that serenely sail their way to a win in London, while the others below them have been paddling around like mad. It is Daniel Deusser and Ben Mayer that have kept their cool. And despite a fence down in each round from Ben, it isn't enough to affect your winning team from the Global Champions League Leg 9 in London. The Shanghai Swans take their 3rd win of the season to follow Mexico and Shanghai. They now lift the top spot in London with that 8 penalty score and 148.59. The Basel Cosmopolitans, of course, had 2nd place last time out in Monaco. Well, 2nd place in London. Their season is on the turn.
Ben, it's always a slight advantage being able to go last in the teams. What was your thought on the course after watching a few other riders?
Yeah, it was a tough course. Not so many double clears today. That helped us a lot with Daniel. Obviously, I had 2 fences in hand going in. Point Break's pretty consistent horse, so I trust that. He had an unfortunate mistake. The light's not so good here right now. Maybe starting a little earlier would help, but it was great for us today, and yeah, fantastic to win here. It's great for Shanghai Swans.
And look what it's done to the overall standings, because the Cannes Stars, trying to chase down Valkenswaard United, they've been able to eat a little into that lead. The Shanghai Swans, with a big jump of points, though, are now just 1 behind the Cannes Stars. And then the powerhouse partnership at the top of the podium with Daniel Deusser and Ben Mayer. Of course, our president and founder, Jan Tops, is going to present that rather large silver trophy to the Shanghai Swans, to Ben Mayer and to Daniel Deusser. You've got to celebrate the winners, because they have come out on top in the Global Champions League here in London for 2025. We salute Daniel Deusser and Ben Mayer for the Shanghai Swans. From me, Gareth Jenkins, and from the team at GCTV, thank you for being with us.